my wife comes to me and says, look, this thing isn't going anywhere. I'm going to have 6 kids at our house all summer. I need a pool or I need a divorce. You can pick. So, so having just spent the money redoing the pool, I said, well, can you give me a little bit of time to research what a divorce would cost so I can make an educated decision? And
River Pool, Charlotte. Gentlemen, it's good to see you. Frank, Christopher, how you guys doing?
Good. Good morning.
Doing well. Good morning.
Why don't we start off? Tell us a little bit about yourselves, how you got to River Pools. What's the backstory here?
Frank, you want to start us off?
Sure. So I think it was late 2019. I also own a concrete pool. Our family owns a property with a concrete pool, and that pool is about 15, 20 years old, and the local municipality came to us. It's an apartment complex, and the local municipality came to us and said, hey, look, pool's getting a little aged. We need for you to make some improvements in order to open up in the upcoming 2020 spring season. So he told me everything he wanted done. I went and worked with all of our construction crews to price it all out. And by the time it was all said and done, it was about $40,000 to upgrade that concrete pool to make it public ready. So that was probably January of 2020 when we finished that work. So I was a little sour that we just spent $40,000 redoing a pool when I figured we could have probably bought a new one for that. And then, as everybody has experienced, COVID hits in March of 2020. So I've got to now shut the pool down. So a pool is literally a 4-letter word to me. After spending all that money, redoing a concrete pool, resurfacing, repainting, replastering, recoping, doing all the things that a concrete pool requires for maintenance, and then not being able to open it up for our tenants. So I was a little sour there. Then I've got 6 children. So a couple weeks into the pandemic or the COVID, we're down at the beach, and my wife comes to me and says, look, this thing isn't going anywhere. I'm going to have 6 kids at our house all summer. I need a pool or I need a divorce. You can pick. So, so having just spent the money redoing the pool, I said, well, can you give me a little bit of time to research what a divorce would cost so I can make an educated decision? And so with 6 kids, I can tell you it's not going to be cheap. So I said, all right, well, the pool it is, but I do not want a concrete pool. And I grew up with a vinyl pool, and I remember it drove my dad crazy. I don't want a vinyl pool, so we've got to find another option. So I went hard to research and came across Fiberglass. Found this website that I thought was an independent research website because there was so much great content and videos about fiberglass and the benefits and the pros and the cons and everything. That I said, well, fiberglass has got to be the option, because I found this great independent third-party research website that gave me all this information. So called some fiberglass manufacturers. Nobody could work me in. Finally went back to this website that I thought I'd found, and I was like, wow, what a gem, and realized that, wow, this is River Pools. They actually manufacture their own pools and they install. So I called them, left a message because nobody could pick up the phones because they were so busy. The next day I get a phone call back from Aaron Big Delicious Daily and says, hey, I'm sorry, we can't really get you a pool right now. We don't have an install team in the Charlotte area. And I explained to him, I said, look, I just got through doing a concrete redo. I trust myself to manage this process. Can I just buy the shell and I'll manage it myself? He's like, no, we don't really do that. We do things a very rigid, the River Pools way. Our guys are trained. We do not allow anybody to really do it yourself. I said, well, that's a bummer. Is there any way you guys can send somebody down there? He's like, nah, everybody's too busy. But I tell you what, you seem like a smart fella, and you've done this before, or you're comfortable with the process. Why don't you just start our Charlotte market? So I tell him, well, I really wasn't prepared to have that conversation today. I just wanted a pool. All I wanted was a pool. So I need a couple days. I need to call somebody a lot smarter than me when it comes to construction. So I hung up the phone with Aaron, and I called Christopher. I said, Christopher, what are you doing? He said, I'm working. I was like, well, guess what we're going to do? He said, what?
You're going to start a pool company.
Yeah, he wants to start a pool company. So, yeah, So the process has been, Frank obviously brought this idea to me. I've got experience as a licensed general contractor. I've also got a lot of experience in the concrete and cement industry as a professional. I have lots of license and credentials in regards to that. So when it comes to salt water and cement and concrete, those two usually don't mix. And so I actually have a lot of experience with the Department of Transportations when it comes to bridges and roadways and what road salts and things can do to damage the roads. And so thinking about fiberglass and with a background in economics, understanding the supply and the demand, it was seemed like a real good business opportunity. So I've joined Frank, and as I learned more about river pools myself, it was definitely a company that stood out from the crowd with some, as far as being one that we would want to team up with. So that's how we got started at River Pools.
Yeah, that's a fantastic story. So let's talk about fiberglass in the Charlotte market. So Frank, you were doing your research. Christopher's learning a lot as you guys were coming together as partners on this. And you saw the benefits of fiberglass, but who would fiberglass be a good fit for in the Charlotte market? And we'll say it's not a good fit for everybody. So let's cover who it's a good fit for and then who it's not a good fit for.
Sure. Well, most of our projects are going to run between $50,000 and $100,000.
Okay.
We do have some projects that go north of $100,000, mainly by virtue of all the different accoutrements that customer may want, right? Larger decking, pergola, automatic pool cover, fencing, turf, grid. So the cost can certainly expand with all the options. But most of our pool projects are going to run between $50,000 and $100,000. What we tell folks is if you're someone who enjoys the pool experience, but not the construction experience to get there, then fiberglass is going to be the way to go, because we're running on about a 4-week cycle from pre-construction, the pre-construction week, the start week, the post-start week, and then the 2-week out week when we're trying to wrap everything up and clean everything up. We're really trying to stick to that 4-week construction experience where our friends on the concrete side are hard pressed to do anything close to a 4-week turnaround. They're looking at typically 4 months for an install cycle. So obviously River's got some beautiful pool models that once they're in the ground with coping and decking and all the different outdoor elements, no one can really tell a difference, and everybody enjoys the feel of fiberglass on their feet, skin versus concrete for at least our patron customers. So that's really, everybody falls into that bucket that wants a pool. The folks that may not select fiberglass really are folks who just want something highly customized, right? They've got something in their mind that has either never been done before or has to be done in a manner that you need a white canvas to draw it out, and concrete is a great application for that. And we tell folks the more customization that you want, fiberglass will tend to be more expensive on the front end, but it will save you money in the long end. But we understand that if folks want something highly customized, concrete is still an acceptable application. And in Charlotte, 95% of the pools up to this point have been concrete. We like to think we're going to even that out a little bit, and we've already started to do that. But that's kind of the breakdown that we see here in Charlotte between concrete and fiberglass.
Let's talk about options accessories. What would probably be more popular for the Charlotte area? And I'll just give an example. Out in Salt Lake City, automatic covers go on nearly every single pool. But what are people requesting most frequently to be incorporated into their project out in Charlotte?
I would say because of the benefits of the feature and probably the minimal impact of cost, we see a lot of bubblers in our market. And of course, we can do them with or without lights, but that seems to be a feature that people like to hear the sound of the bubbler. It's a customized element that, again, it's not adding a ton of extra cost to your project.
Charlotte's got a very temperate climate. You could probably swim without a heater from April until October here. But if you were to add a heater, you're probably making this a 10-month swim market here, to where you're really only going to be able to you're really going to stay out of the pool the 2 coldest months, which are typically like a January, late January, February, maybe first part of March. Mm-hmm. The great thing about Charlotte, I remember the last 5 years I've been in shorts on Christmas Day. So, right. If you've got a heater and it's above a 50-degree ambient temperature, you can be in your pool 10 months out of the year here. So that's a really nice feature. We tell folks that if you don't do it up front, that's okay, but let's plan for it, because in a couple of years you might want to add it, because the party wants to keep going, right? 10 months out of the year, not just 5. So that's right. We do see a lot of folks wanting to add some type of heating element just so they can elongate their time outside.
So we don't want people to think that this is exclusively a high-end product, that you can have something simple on that lower price point as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, we're doing a lot. I talked about that range earlier in our conversation, $50,000 to $100,000. We do a lot of projects in that $50,000 to $60,000 range. We love doing them. They're fairly quick. So if somebody has a budget, right, in that $50,000 to $60,000 range, we can get that project done and knocked out, fairly quick, right? At least our part, right? We're in and out in a couple of days. Obviously, we have to work with municipalities and inspectors, electricians, and things like that. But I go back to our 4-week cadence, right? We've got our pre-construction week, our construction start week, our post-construction start week, and then what we call our 2 weeks out, where we're trying to wrap things up. There's always something that a part didn't come in, or some part of our supply chain got hung up, especially nowadays. Everything in construction is a little backed up, but we really try to stick to that 4-week cadence, and we've got it scripted out. Addison manages that process and does a great job with Gantt charts, daily updates, and we really try to stick to that.
What does a $50,000 to $60,000 project look like?
It's usually a single shell application, right? Anywhere from a 20-foot pool to maybe a 28-foot pool.
Okay.
Some combination of either all concrete decking or a combination of stone coping with concrete decking. You're going to get a 1.5 horsepower multi-speed pump, saltwater chlorinator. All of our equipment is provided with Pentair, which has been around for a long time. They're a no name in the pool industry, really any type of hydraulic application. Pentair has made a statement within. So that's typically what you're looking at, right, in a $50,000 to $60,000 application. Is that what would you agree with that, Christopher?
I would. So, and you still might even be able to get a couple cool features like some bubblers that don't have the lights in it, things like that, to add a unique customization to that project.
Right. So fiberglass really can fit the bill for a variety of folks with very simple projects in mind, all the way up to the incredibly elaborate, which you see behind you guys right now. It just really can fit the needs of many different folks and project ideas and different levels of complexity.
Absolutely. No, we think so. And again, it's great to have a company like River that has got 20 plus years experience as an installer and has seen every brand and installed every brand on the market, right? And taken all that experience and now come up with a process on the manufacturing side that eliminates all those imperfections that a manufacturer may not see because they're not in the field, but because River started in the field and then matured into the manufacturing plant, that right. really creates a great experience. And that's what, I was a consumer first. That's what attracted me as a consumer. And then to have the opportunity to bring it to Charlotte, which is a phenomenally fast growing market with all different types of people that are immigrating into the city. Some folks from the north who grew up with fiberglass pools, some folks from the west who had a pool, concrete pool, either from Florida or Arizona or California. They come here and they just want a job done quickly. We can do that for them. So that's really exciting. One thing we talk about with our team is just the ability to serve families, and what a great privilege that is, right? We all have different backgrounds. Christopher's got a commercial construction background, corporate background. I've got a finance and technology background. And then to be able to do something where we're outside every day and we're serving families, right? Which, we think the family is the most powerful institution on the face of the planet, right? The world will ebb and flow based on the strength of our family units. And for us to be able to serve one family unit at a time, we really feel like we're making a contribution, and we're excited to do it here in Charlotte.
Man, that's something right there. I think that's a good note to close on.
Super.
Awesome.
Thanks, man.
Christian.
Appreciate it.
We'll see you.
Okay.
See ya.